to your solar return report. This is the Peace Dealer. And I hope you enjoy this solar return reading. Thank you, of course, for the deets. We know that you are in Thorpe, Washington. And this is definitely an exceptionally pivotal in that you, of course, are in a position to manifest. Oh, this is lit. The solar return gift for you is the manifestation of supernaturally innovative partnerships. This is really lit because you actually have the Eros-Uranus conjunction exact. And I can resonate because my Venus is 14 degrees, so I'm somewhat feeling into this too, just not during a solar return. But regardless, congratulations. 2017 made me a believer in solar returns because personally, I thought it was junk astrology before. I'm not going to lie. I thought it was, how is this accurate, right? And that was the year I had the sun in my 10th house solar return chart in Gemini. And what was the gift for me? The solar return of the sun gift was a change in my career, right? Gemini in the 10th, mutable sign change in the career 10th. So that really, blessed me and made me a believer in solar returns. Now, relative to how to see this, in the solar return chart, you, over the first 6 months of the transit, set it up. For example, that was the year I became Magic Mike, and I had a Virgo rising, and the moon was on my rising. I had the Gemini 10th house. So, it wasn't until Virgo season that I moved to Vegas and I changed Virgo mutable, changed my identity, AC, to Magic Mike. This is how accurate solar returns are. And just astrology is mind blowing. So it made me realize that the AC is your first chapter. Even though you're starting in the 7th house, you can see everything before the AC as the setup, right? Even though you really start here in Taurus. What you'll notice is now, relative to where you start, this is the setup. This is the setup. Gemini season, Cancer season is the setup. Building blocks. This is the checkpoint from in between Scorpio and Taurus. Setup Virgo. And then Scorpio season is going to be the completion of the solar return. This is where you're going to manifest the results of the gift of the solar return. And then you're going to manifest the results you set up Gemini season in Sag. You're going to manifest the results you set up Cancer season in Cap. You're going to manifest the results you set up Leo in Aqua, Virgo in Pisces, and then Libra in Aries. Boom, next solar return. So let's go even deeper into that. Okay. To make sense of that, we know that personally, you are in the process of given the gift of the solar return for ya, which we know natally as a Virgo rising, you're a spiritual teacher. You're a natural teacher. Okay. Oh my gosh, your 10th house is lit. You're a true producer. Okay. You got an angel soul. I love it. So basically, once again, all the gift of this year for you is you're manifesting innovative partnerships that match the level of personality you have this year. This year, of course, your moon is in Cancer, making you the sincere producer. You're a vessel of Lilith, and you have the transformer, or you're the pure queen this year. Okay, the psychological personality of wisdom. You represent wisdom. And it's so interesting because you're using the resources of your personality this year to manifest these innovative partnerships. And so you're manifesting grounded relationships and values in partnerships that by Scorpio season will complete by a transformed personality with which now you're holding space for these partnerships. That means right now, this Taurus season, you're manifesting the values with which you want the partnerships to be in. And this is what's going to, over the next 6 months, develop your character through these partnerships. So that once we step into Scorpio season, bam, now your personality has been influenced by the relationships you've had and you've completed the solar return. So you're going to complete the gift of the innovation of partnerships by transforming your personality Scorpio season to hold space for these partnerships. And then you're going to manifest boundaries to change the ideas around who you can trust and how much more intimately you communicate and who you invest your ideas in, because now these investments will complete in Sagittarius season with liquid income and money and resources that you return from those investments. And then, of course, this philosophy of the relationships, the expression of the idea of these relationships in Cancer that will have you feel the direction it's headed to, you'll complete in Capricorn season by that grounded attitude of how to communicate it. And then the career success, the checkpoint, the halfway point between, of course, Leo and Scorpio, which will have you now express the higher social element of how you can experience these relationships socially in the world, will now ground in a more knowledgeable, detached home space and comfort where you can trust these relationships into more your private life. And then, of course, the friendships, right? Everything that you have with your relationships, if they pass the 8th house trust lesson, now become your friends. They become a part of your social circle, which is your rising sign, right? And so the work you've done to set up where these relationships belong in your life complete in Pisces season with this divinity of evolution to enjoy your heart's desires with said friends. And then, of course, in conclusion, the unconscious habits and beliefs around relationships that you're releasing and integrating these relationships will complete in a whole new lifestyle that by this time Jupiter will kind of be around and coming back into before your solar return to evolve the lifestyle this year. So in a nutshell, you are innovating your lifestyle. We do see that Jupiter and Neptune and Mars are conjunct in the 5th house. And so this is going to open up considerable opportunity for romance, to let your imagination and abundant evolution of your creative habits and talents this year exceptionally evolve how much more creatively you apply that into your relationships. Note that this Pisces aspect is your 7th house natally. So this year, you're evolving all your partnerships and divine partnerships to epic proportion. And so the 9th house nature of Taurus is upgrading your philosophy on what? Relationships, and how much more your beliefs are influenced by the partnerships that influenced said beliefs. And that you manifest more strength and value. Remember, Taurus is money. So you're coming into more value with how you directly bring this genius to the table in relationships. So Taurus season coming into the full moon will help you understand how you're transforming your personality to really manifest this groundedness. And then this coming into Gemini season is getting ready to draw boundaries with the results of how you communicate this value to key people and what kind of insight you also gain. This is the 8th house of trust, other people's resources. So investment channels, self-employment may really open up through here. Jupiter will already go over your Venus solar return, which will begin to evolve original direction into your lifestyle to inspire a much more dynamic routine. Everything that will, of course, be integrating into the Taurus 7th house. And Cancer season is what's going to break you through the Pluto opposition, right after the square in Aries season, to really break through the sense of your philosophy and how your beliefs around your social circle of friends influence your heart's desires and your attitude. So this is what's going to have you break through how much more powerfully you move forward with these new partnerships and how they're influencing your thought process around how you express your abilities towards these partnerships and how much more accepted you are in these partnerships. And it's very important because the square Jupiter will integrate this evolution of your lifestyle into your philosophy, all of which will break you through this checkpoint into your career, which we know is your 12th house. So you'll be releasing old beliefs around the success you're coming into this year that will change the way you analyze your personality and of course your rising sign in Virgo in the solar return chart influences how your personality is affected by the real friends and the relationships that you've manifested that once again influence how creatively you express said personality. This is also very key because Leo season will give us a very great insight into how much more confidently and boldly you express your talents and this career success relative to the square of relationships and how they impact your career goals. How do you take relationships with other people up to the top with you? Versus the fourth house, who do you trust in your home life? So based off of what you decide and how socially you express will really color the personality you have in Scorpio and how much comfortable, knowledgeably you share the inner knowledge with said relationships. So Virgo season is now post Gemini season, going to take everyone who you can trust and draw those boundaries and have them be a part of your friendships, which will color your personality. This is also going to manifest the new moon we had in Pisces by now creating the real social dynamics and friendships who can match your heart's desires and who you can perform your talents to, versus seeing how natally in your chart the relationships you've evolved since March have now changed your personality. This leads us to Libra season, where based on this rewards from career and influences and acquaintances, we're releasing old habits. Now that we're evolving the original behavior of your routine that influences your relationships, we know that the ruler of Libra here is in Aries, okay? And natally in your chart is in Taurus. And so this is going to really revisit a lot of the work that you've done to manifest partnerships, to integrate new beliefs around the relationships you've manifested. And this is what completes the solar return coming into Scorpio season accordingly, where we now from Scorpio to Aries manifest the gifts of this result. Like when I started my solar return, it wasn't in Gemini. It wasn't until Sagittarius season that I started to manifest more money than I've ever made, changed, of course, my home residence, and really manifested the results of the success. And yeah. And so it's not like you won't see evidence of this before, but Scorpio season will now transform the nature of your personality in order to add pure wisdom in the next half of this eclipse to now unlock this element of your personality to add more to the table of the relationships that you are establishing accordingly. Okay. That being said, Sagittarius season is going to manifest the ideas that you invested with people, especially with the Mercury retrograde, that retrogrades back into Taurus and enables you to reevaluate the way you communicate, because now you have new partnerships that match more with who you're becoming. And with that being said, this also goes a long way towards putting you in a position to, by the time we step into Sag and Capricorn, flesh out the values and the attitude of this transformed personality that puts you more in a position to very powerfully and magically and realistically break into form through Pluto now the true value of these partnerships. Hence now the social success with the MC and Leo, you're now grounding with said partnerships to give you greater knowledge of your home space and ancestry. And by this time, Saturn will be ready to move into Pisces and Pluto will be ready to move into Aquarius as we step into Pisces and Aries season. Okay. That being said, I hope you enjoyed this solar return. Please feel free to listen to this at least 5 to 7 times this year. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask as well or email me. This definitely goes a long way towards realistically innovating every relationship and partnership you have and aligning destiny to really, unlock this nature of your own skill sets and attitude to manifest more of this grounded philosophy and way of life that's immediately going to impact your relationships with others. So you may even get married or develop your marriage if you're already married. Peace.